Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and thank you so much for watching. This week I will be talking about my favorite rings. Rings are definitely one of my soft spots. I regularly get a lot of questions from you guys about where are my rings from, like where do I like to buy my rings from, why are they my favorite, so I thought I'd wrap it all up in a video for you. We'll start off with what I'm wearing now. Today was like a moving day. I do real estate and I stage now, so I'm moving a lot of furniture around, so I didn't want to wear too much. Obviously I have my engagement ring, which a lot of you have seen in my engagement story video. I am obsessed with it. I still can't get enough of it. It is an 18 karat gold. It was designed by the talented Nicola of Kai Jewelry. I will link her below, and she is actually currently designing a pair of sister rings for my sister and I. It will be kind of my gift to her because she's been having a rough year. I don't know if you guys heard in my other vlog, she got diagnosed with leukemia in October, and when I got engaged in December, I obviously always wanted her to be my maid of honor, so it will kind of be like a maid of honor slash you're my biggest inspiration gift to her, and we'll have matching ones kind of to keep us through our lives, if that makes sense. So that one won't be ready probably for another month or so. I will give you guys updates on that. The design has been made. We're using heirloom diamonds from my mom and just waiting for the wax. Okay, so moving on, since I don't have that ring to show you yet, I will show you later. Right now I am wearing one of these guys. It's one of my Mejuri dainty rings. I definitely get questions on this one a lot. It is 10K, I believe, with 5 black diamonds in it. I usually stack it with about 4 or 5 other dainty stacker rings, just so it makes it look really cool. It gives my hand a little bit more pizzazz. And then I also am wearing this vintage Victorian ring that I got from Carly of St. Eloi Jewelry. She has the coolest collection of vintage and antique jewelry. I am obsessed, and this one I love. I'm gonna start talking a little bit about the design of the rings I have. This one is 9 karat gold, I believe. It was made in Britain. It has some cool engraving on the side, very tiny diamond inside. It's called a gypsy setting, this is what Carly told me. It makes the diamond inside look a lot bigger because it's got those engraved stars around it, the diamond sitting in it. Plus, if you can see inside here, actually a hollowed out gold ring. So typically, if it was a gold ring this size, it'd be really heavy. So the fact that it's a little bit hollowed out, it's really comfortable to wear. I mean, it's also cheaper on the wallet, but I do have my eye on this solid gold one that has 3 diamonds. We'll see if I'll upgrade that in the next year or so. The other thing is I have all my rings in this little catch-all bowl. I have 2 of them, one in the bathroom and one by my bed, so that at night I take all my jewelry off and it doesn't scratch my face, and I also don't damage the rings. This is the one that I had made from, what is it, Color Me Mine, when Trav proposed. One of my girlfriends took me to get some pottery painted and celebrate the engagement with me. Most of the rings that I have are yellow gold. That is just something I personally gravitate towards. I know a lot of you like white gold or silver because you prefer that on your skin tone. I will do another video on some silver and white gold pieces, but for now I will focus on my favorite pieces, okay? J.Crew, surprisingly, because they make clothes, but they have really good jewelry. So these pieces I've had from J.Crew for, I would say, about 5 years. These are my larger of my rings. So there's this guy. It actually has a marble stone piece in the middle, and it's a thick gold band all around. So it almost looks like a cigar ring. I can wear it on my second finger. My second finger is about a 6. My second finger is a 6, 6.5. So this is what it would look like if I was wearing all these rings together right now. What do you think of this style? 2 thick rings and a thin dainty one. Something that I like to keep in mind when I am putting rings on is the balance of all the rings. So you don't want to have a fist ready to punch someone in the face, you want to make sure that you have a mixture of dainty and bold ones. At least that's what I prefer. So this guy, I don't wear too much anymore, especially now that I've got my favorite thicker ring. It's a fun one with marble in it, just to mix things up. This guy I wear a lot to events actually. This is like a double tiered thick gold ring. And I normally actually wear it in my middle finger, so I'm gonna take this guy off. So this is what it looks like. Like, it almost looks like you're wearing two rings, and the sheen of this gold just makes it look really expensive. I just really like this ring. I bought it originally because I was doing a lot of like hand in the frame photos when I started blogging, and this was like a really good statement ring. But now I find that I wear it a lot when I'm going out to events. So just to have that extra like statement on your hands, and just to mix things up, because I don't always want to wear my everyday rings at night. And this guy has actually lasted a really long time. Like, you can see that the gold hasn't rubbed off, and it's been quite a lot of years. I sometimes catch myself washing my hands with this ring, and it's still okay. Like, it has some scratches underneath because I carry stuff, and it does scratch some of the vermeil off. J.Crew gold plated jewelry is really, really a recommendation from me, especially when they have their like extra 40% off sale. Check it out. Oh yeah, the other tip is, if you have gold plated jewelry, try not to get it wet or like wash your hands with it. Just don't get soap and water on it. That will make your jewelry last a lot longer. The next two are still gold plated. This one, I did go through a phase of buying a lot of jewelry on Urban Outfitters. I would say be careful. They have a lot of cute pieces that are really cheap, like $10, $12, and you're like, hey, like, why not just buy it and try it out? I have never had luck with finding a good piece that's like $12 from there. It either cuts into my skin because it's not finished properly, or the metal is like really itchy. Like, just be careful. I mean, I'm sure some people are not as sensitive as me, and you can totally do what you want. That's just my recommendation and my experience from the Urban Outfitters like cheaper jewelry. This guy I got from Urban Outfitters when they were having one of their like extra 30% off sale. This is Luv AJ. I haven't seen them around as much anymore. They did a huge social media push a couple years ago. I really like it because it has this extra like movable bit, and it brings, like, it shows how long my fingers are. I do have fingers that are a little bit longer and more slender than most people. Like my sister, who's smaller than me, has like shorter, stubbier fingers. She makes fun of herself like all the time. They're not that bad, but I just mean, just make sure if you're gonna buy a long ring like this that it's like resizable. You can see on this side that you can like pinch it and like expand it if it doesn't fit properly, because you do need to watch out for that like finger fat part. This one I haven't worn in a while, but I think that I will wear it a lot this summer. It's a good hardware piece to have. And check out Luv AJ, they have really cute pieces. Sometimes it's expensive, so wait for it to go on sale. So I get asked about this ring all the time. It is my high school pinky ring. Okay, so I'm so sorry. I don't know where to get it. I mean, I can give you the name of my high school, but it really, I feel like it wouldn't mean the same as it would to some of you who actually went to the school. It is like 14 karat or 10 karat, I don't remember. A lot of people at my high school got it like as their third or fourth finger ring, but I just really, really wanted a pinky ring at that time, and I like didn't know where else to find it other than like, hey, I'm getting a ring customized. Why don't I get it customized for my pinky? I believe this is like a 3.5, size 3.5 or size 3.4. I can't remember. All I know is that like I can barely wear it on my left pinky without it falling off. It always has to be on my right pinky. It's also engraved with my name and the years that I was there. I'm not gonna tell you the year because that will age date me, and I don't think that I want to tell you how old I am yet. Pinky ring, if I like really feel bloated that day, so sometimes my hands are like a full size bigger than it is another day, whether to do with like the food I ate, like if I drink wine, etc. So if I have a very bloated hand day, I will probably just wear my pinky ring. And so it's really nice to have like statement pinky rings in your collection. I feel like it makes me feel like a really cool mobster, or like one of those really like fancy old Italian men that have like the big gold pinky rings. I saw a really cute one recently from St. Eloi's collection of vintage jewelry. Otherwise, some good places to buy them. Mejuri actually has, I think it's gold vermeil though, a good pinky ring that's a decent price, a real gold pinky ring. I will have to get back to you on that one. Okay, now we're moving on to all my favorite dainty rings, and these actually all come from Mejuri. So a lot of you are correct when you ask me, are these Mejuri? I have collected a couple over the years. I have 2 of their texturized stackers. This guy is the dotted one, and then this one is the roped. Can we see that better? So I really like these because it adds texture to my hand. I have one that is, this one's just a plain stacker, like it's a plain gold band. So I can layer it like this. This is how I usually like my left hand to look. Like I don't want to take away from my engagement ring too much, but I really like how these dainty rings kind of pull it all together. So it like, as much as I like my engagement ring, I like it to blend in and for it to just look more natural on my hand, and I feel like having these dainty pieces does the trick. So those 2 are one of the ones that you always ask about. I have one that also says J on it, and that one I really like, but it gets caught on everything. Like everything. So if you're thinking of getting the initial ring from Mejuri, I would say, depending on your letter, be careful. So mine's like a J, so it legit has like a hook on the top and like a really intense hook for the J. And if I wear it, I try to stack it in between a couple of rings so the hook is kind of hidden under. Okay, so the last Mejuri piece that I have for rings is this top guy. It is a split black diamond ring. So this guy I can actually size. I bent it a little bit when I first got it to make it smaller, but I guess my hands got fatter, so I squeezed it back. I think it's a little bit warped now because they're so thin, the gold, but this is like kind of how I usually wear them. You can see. Usually I add this guy on there. This one is actually from one of my good friends, Chantal, who owns Token Gold. You've definitely heard me talk about them before. So she makes these really beautiful organic pieces. So it's like a sapphire stone that she set in this beautiful gold setting. It's all like naturally done by hand. This one usually goes on top like that. So you can see that there's like a mixture of really thin pieces and like a thicker piece. I just really like the depth that this gives my stack. And then the other piece that I have by her, it's this like pebble like band. As you can see, this really showcases like the organic style that she works with, like that all around. And I usually put this on put it on my 3rd finger, and this is kind of another one of my go-to hand stacks. This is probably what my hand looks like 75% of the week. This guy, I usually get questions about it as well. I don't wear it as much anymore because there really isn't like a finger that it fits on, and I haven't really given it like I haven't found good pieces to go with it without it looking too obnoxious. So like this is kind of like what I played with recently, is like adding it on top of the pebbled band, but I feel like that's just a little bit too much. The opal looks really cool with the sapphire. Alright, this opal ring I actually got from Trav for our 1st year anniversary. So I should have known by then that he's really good with his jewelry. He did choose this one for me like after only a year of knowing me. And of course you all know how much I love my engagement ring, and he did a really good job. This is like an old heirloom from my mom. Like as you can kind of see, this is like typical Chinese jewelry. It's like, I don't know, like 18 gold or more than that. It's really yellow, and it's really like malleable. So like I said before, like some rings have like movable edges, and this one does. Like they overlap with each other. So I can actually size it and squeeze it to fit whatever finger I want. I don't wear this one too often because it's really yellow and it's like quite large. So sometimes I feel like maybe sometimes if I feel a little bit like extra, I'll wear it. So it looks like that. It looks really pretty in photos. So like I'll put it on for like maybe 5 minutes and do like a hand down, top down hand photo. But it is really heavy. Like it's significantly heavier than even this one. This one's just like so comfortable to wear. I love it. So like this is literally a very, to me this is a very obnoxious hand, and I don't feel totally comfortable walking around with a hand like this. And that's why I have all these pieces that I mix and match. So one of the questions that I got as well for this video was, where do I like to shop for my rings? Good question. Mejuri is of course one of my favorites because it's Canadian and they have good quality pieces that are affordable. Nicola works out of this jewelry store called Made You Look Jewelry on Queen Street, and they just have like the best collection of jewelry made by artisans in the city there. So you can find like a whole range of like priced jewelry plus like different styles of jewelry, and they're all unique because they're handmade by people who work there and also other people who consign there. So Made You Look is a good place to go if you're looking to shop in person. So Saint Eloi, I hope I'm saying this right. I've been saying it the whole video and worrying I'm saying it wrong. So Carly, if you're watching it, let me know. She has a very great collection of vintage and antique pieces. I'm just starting to dive into this area of jewelry, and I just love hearing the stories behind it. And like each of these rings have like little signs inside that tell you like where it was made, what it was made with, what company like gave them the okay that like what you say it is what it is. And I just love the story of it, like learning about the eras that these jewelries were being made. Check her out for all the vintage, antique, and cool, unique pieces. My friend Chantal, who owns Token Gold, just makes the most beautiful organic pieces. So if you're loving like more statement pieces that are like a mixture of dainty but organic, and with like she has a really unique point of view. So if you want like a really interesting piece, check her out. And then, but not least, my affordable pieces, I would say, that are a step up from cheap costume jewelry would be J.Crew, Luv AJ, and Shashi. I don't think I had a chance to actually show, I don't think that piece is Shashi, but Shashi is a great jewelry brand that is, I find, affordable. They have their own online store, and they also have collections on Shopbop. So I will link all those brands that I just mentioned down below, and I hope that you find a new ring that you love just as much as I love all my rings. So I guess the moral of the story is what to look for in rings. Let's just talk about yellow gold for now, and if you really want to hear more about like other ring metals or other jewelry metals, I'll talk about it next time. So if you're looking for quality yellow gold pieces, I would say like for everyday wear, stick around like the 10K mark, maybe 14, but don't go to 18. Like the only reason I have 18 for my like engagement ring and my future wedding band is because it's like a celebratory, like life-changing piece of jewelry, okay? Like 18 karat is gonna be more yellow, it's a little bit more malleable, but it is like beautiful. So it's more expensive, and you'll have to take care of it a lot more. So if it's just like your everyday piece, I would stick to 10 and 14K. Even go lower if you can find it. Usually when you're looking at yellow gold, 10K is like your most popular carat. It's just the most beautiful color as well if you're looking for everyday jewelry wear. It's not like, it doesn't scream yellow gold. Sometimes it almost looks rose gold in certain lights. So that's number one. Stick to like 10 to 14K for everyday yellow gold wear. 2, make sure that you know your ring size. Sometimes people order rings online and you don't know your ring size for a particular width of ring. The thinner you go, the looser it's gonna get. Vice versa, the thicker you go, the tighter it's gonna get. So just make sure you go to a jewelry store and try out like a respective style in your size so that you make sure that you order the right one. When you're building your collection, I would buy rings of different texture and sizes. So like I showed you today, I have rings that range from like quite thick to very, very thin to like a medium like thickness, so that you can mix and match on different fingers and just like create something like with more depth. Because you don't want all your rings to look the same and it just look like you're wearing like a ring on each finger. You want it to look I like it to look really interesting and very personalized. So that's how I get that look. Plus, if you're going to go with stones, my favorites are of course the sapphire, black diamonds, and I really, really want a turquoise ring and a moonstone. So turquoise and moonstone are my next purchases. I have been searching for it. You can probably talk to all my jewelry friends for the last like year or so, and I still haven't found one that like I can afford and one that I really, really love, that like I'm willing to pay that amount of money for. Maybe it's something that I'll end up customizing, maybe it's something that I'll find online, but I will also link some of my wish list ones in the comments below too, so you can shop around. Lastly, how do you care for these rings? Yellow gold thankfully is so easy to care for. It doesn't tarnish as much as like sterling silver or some other metals that like just get darker and like change color over the course of being exposed to air. They oxidize really easily. Yellow gold doesn't, but it does start to, it just dulls a little bit, especially with the stones. I learned this when I got my engagement ring because I was like, it's like already getting dirty. I put so much cream on because like my hands are always dry and it was the winter. So my jewelry friend gave me the trick of this is how you clean like your diamond ring, but it also works for all your other rings too. You just dedicate a toothbrush to your ring collection and you just use dish soap. So I have like, I don't know, Palmolive, the green one, and you just use some warm water, soap it up, and you just like, you take your ring and you wash it. So you just brush it till it's all shiny and clean, then you just dry it and keep the toothbrush for the next time you need to do a jewelry cleaning haul. For my engagement ring, I like to do a little quick clean before I go out to an event or date night. I just like it to shine extra shiny. I'm obsessed with diamonds now. I really never thought that I would be. I like actually, when I was younger, I saw diamonds and I was like, oh, like, why is everyone so obsessed? Like, I don't understand. It's so sparkly and girly. But yeah, so apparently diamond loving grows with age. And that's it. I really hope you enjoyed this video and that it was helpful for you and that I explained like everything that you wanted to know. Just don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you all next time.